So I had this interesting experience the other day. I was looking up stuff on YouTube and I came across something called the Sedona method, and it's got a bunch of Buddhist terminology attached to it, but I took away a couple of the simple questions that anyone can do without, offending their spirituality or religiosity and stuff. And it was talking about releasing feelings or resentment or trauma or whatever. And there was simple questions where you think about, okay, what is it that's bothering me, and then you ask yourself, are you willing to release it? If so, when? And it was like a simple little questions you ask yourself, right? And you think about what's really bugging you. And usually stuff like that doesn't have a profound effect on me. And so I was thinking about stuff that really bothers me and asking myself the question, are you willing to let it go? If so, when? And I was like, well, right now. I don't want to carry resentment and disappointment, sadness, and anger over stuff around all the time. And so I just kept, repeating the questions and imagining you're supposed to sit with what it feels like, the anxiety or whatever, and just, feel it for a second, and then you let it go. And so I was thinking about the issues and thinking about how it feels. And I was imagining that I was like sitting on some rocks by the beach, and I just kept going through the simple questions, and I would imagine the feeling. It was kind of like being filled with little crabs, just the way it made me feel. And then are you willing to let it go? If so, when? And so I would just imagine all the little crabs popping out of my skin and running into the sea. And then, I would do the questions again, and it felt like, I was full of oyster shells. And then when I'd let it go, they would, I imagined them popping out of my skin and falling into the ocean. Or I'd be filled with sand, the way sand feels when it's all over your skin. And I would just imagine letting go of that feeling and all the sand just washing into the sea, or, being filled with sea urchins, the prickly, spiky things. And it actually had like a big effect on me. Like I actually felt like I let go of stuff, and I was sitting there thinking, that's kind of weird. I wonder if there's any significance to, the day I'm doing this, or if there's something else going on. Because I also keep track of like Jewish Messianic holy days and stuff like that, right? And so today I was watching a video on Jonathan Cahn's channel, and he was talking, because it was Yom Kippur yesterday, and he was talking about that Yom Kippur is also about releasing things, because we're not really meant to walk around holding grudges and unforgiveness against people, because that's part of us being forgiven, is we have to forgive others. If we expect God to do these things for us, we have to be able to do those things for other people and forgive them and stop holding on to the past. And I was like, that's interesting, because I didn't understand that. And it rained today, because I think in Messianic Judaism and Judaism, raining after a holy day is also is a blessing from God, which, if you don't get rain, stuff's going to happen. So I just thought that was really interesting. I was also thinking about, because I had other plans for this channel when I made it years ago, because I was writing a lot of fiction about spiritual warfare, and I wasn't sure if it was what God wanted for me, like if it was the best path for me to be on, because a lot of the stories are really dark, but that's fine. I don't have an issue with darkness. What I do have an issue with is I online, I'm sure you've all noticed in the comment sections on a lot of Christian videos, there's so much religiosity and offense. Like it seems like people are emboldened because they believe in God or have a basic understanding of the Bible, and they use that to browbeat and abuse other people. If someone thinks of something or believes in something different from what they understand, which I've been on the receiving end of that, of people that are close to me for years, and I do not take kindly to it, because I want, if this channel is going to turn into a blog about me talking about spirituality and life, I will not tolerate religiosity or offense in the comments, because I want this channel to be somewhere where people who are trodden down and hopeless and isolated and they don't know what to, I want them to feel comfortable coming here and talking about anything that's on their mind in the comment section. And I'm not going to let people go buck wild and start beating people with the Bible. You know, I want people to feel like there's some place that they can just unload and connect with other people that are going to be compassionate and understanding. So that's I've been thinking about that a lot, because I've been praying for a couple of years about what to do with this channel, since it seemed like I wasn't sure what to do with the fiction, right? And it seemed like the Holy Spirit just kept telling me, you just need to talk to people. That's all. That's all you need to do. Stop thinking you need to make these really invested, edited, overproduced videos, and they have to be fancy, and you have to, because I'm also an artist, right? So I was thinking, am I going to have to like animate all this stuff? How am I going to do this? I can't afford to hire an animator, blah, blah, blah. And the Holy Spirit is like, just go and just talk. That's all you need to do, is just share stuff. And I think that's the most important thing to do right now. Oh, you know what, another weird thing? So I was talking with my husband the other day, and I was like, you know how they say, like the city of God is a cube, and you know, when he comes, it's going to come down like a cube, right? And so I saw this funny TikTok video of this guy saying, you know, he's like making a message to the mothership, like, if you're coming, you know, blah blah blah, just deal with these people, we're sick of them. And he was mentioning that the Webb telescope was seeing a cube headed towards Earth. I just thought that was interesting. Wouldn't that be funny if God's on his way here and people can actually see him come, the city of God coming as a cube in space? You know, another thing I wrestle with a lot, because of the whole growing up in a doomsday cult and like having the apocalypse being that's another thing that bugs me. When people, I'll get back to the subject in a sec. When people use fear as a form of righteousness and to manipulate others, I hate that. I really hate that. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, the whole like fear of the end of the world stuff. I'll go through these seasons where I just get so stressed out because of the news, and there's a lot of YouTubers where they just focus on end of the world stuff because it gets them a lot of views, right? And then there's a lot of, you know, Bible study videos where people are just really digging into the, you know, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. And I think that sure, we're supposed to have a healthy fear and respect for God, right? I mean, that's a given. But it was really affecting me. The whole, like, I'm already stressed out enough. If I won't want to study the Bible if all I'm thinking about is, here comes the end of the world, I'm going to die. But anyway, now that I've become sort of like I guess you would classify me as a Protestant. I don't really care about classifications, but once I understood the whole being saved by grace, and that it wasn't about works, that works come from the faith you have or how you're changed. You know, like how my character, my persona was completely changed. And so the things I did and how I lived my life changed as a result of the faith that I had, right? Where was I going with this? I forgot. Oh, I was thinking about how one way to look at, you know, the fear of the end of this world as we know it is there are different, you know, there's a spirit world and all of everything that implies, which I think there's different levels within that. And back in the 90s, I used to always, when I was super new age and stuff, I used to call this place like a boot camp, and everything else kind of above us is so different. And once we leave this place, it'll be like this bad dream we had. It'll be like, you know, how you can remember a bad dream, but it seems like it was just so far away. And our senses, our body tells us this is what's real right now. This is all that there is. But it seems like more and more people are having supernatural, preternatural experiences, and they're starting to see that, you know, what I can see with my eyes, what I can feel with my hands, the ground under my feet, gravity, maybe this isn't all that there is. And it's hard to explain to people that might not have ever done hallucinogens or had, you know, what's the word? Or had like some kind of epiphany. If you go to the other side, into the spirit realm, you realize that place is more real than this realm is. That we think this is all there is right now, but it seems like the closer God is coming to us, the more those two realities are emerging. Like everyone's saying the phrase, the veil is lifting, which I was saying that back in the early 90s. I just could tell things were going to change. And there's more and more sightings of people seeing cryptids and having weird experiences. And it seems like the closer God's kingdom is coming to this realm, it's changing the fabric of our reality. Does that make sense? And we're going to start getting a glimpse of the next realm to come that's coming for us and going to merge with this realm. And it's like, I think that's why it's so important to have a relationship with God, because you're anchoring yourself to that other realm that's coming, that's a good thing. And the dark spiritual forces, I call it the KOD, the kingdom of darkness, they want you to think that him coming to merge with our reality, to help us, to remove us, to whatever, that it's going to be a bad thing. They want you to be scared. They want you to be terrified. They don't want you to be able to think that, well, maybe that won't be so bad. They want you to focus on fear and terror because you can't think. And the other side also uses the energy from your fear and your terror. It's a form of unholy spirit. Luciferians call it louche. That term is more widespread now thanks to the Monroe Institute. But the things that are coming for us to change our world and our lives, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm finally at a place now where I still feel sad for the things I didn't get to experience here, like raising a family, not being severely disabled or sick all the time. Like, there's a part of me that's like, well, I wish things had been more fun while I was here. So part of me mourns that, like, will be sad to see things go, but that's because that's all I know. But the things that he has in store for us, they're good things. And the oppressive spiritual forces that rule this world don't want us to be able to see that or understand it or have hope. But there is hope. There is hope. No matter who is swinging from the rafters screaming it's the end of the world, just remember, it may be the end of this world, but there is another reality beyond this that we're going to transition into, that is so much greater and more incredible than this place. I think, going through the Bible, if you try to understand the incredibleness of this the next reality we're going to, God's kingdom we're going to live in, it really doesn't, you can't use human language to describe how incredible it is. Anyway, I'm going to have to edit this video a lot. See you later. Bye.